This kind of a conversation with amazing youth heroes and change makers like you guys. I would have never thought I'd be doing this. I turned 42 this year, and I actually started my life in the entertainment industry. So I did all the whole soap operas, singing, dancing, hosting, the whole shebang from here to LA and back. And in my mid-30s, I ended up coming back to the Philippines and still continuing that entertainment journey. And I could not explain why there was this yearning in me to want to start volunteering. To give you guys context, I lost my mom to cancer in 2004. And that was actually a huge part of this journey that brought me here today. That's another story that I hope I can share with you guys another time as well. But it's interesting to think how life events, happy ones, but more importantly, the things that really strike us so deeply, that really bring us even pain sometimes, are the ones that open up our eyes and our hearts to the things that we could possibly not even know that were meant for us or that we would yearn for. When I was doing entertainment, I thought that was it for the rest of my life. That was the career I had chosen. That was what I was doing since I was young, from commercials to theater to TV to film. So I thought, okay, I chose this path. This is what I studied. It's my craft. I'm so experienced, and this is what I'm going to keep on doing. Little did I know that this would suddenly happen in my life. It would change everything for me, even heal me through my mental health journey, not realizing that volunteering is actually prescribed by psychologists and psychiatrists. And I didn't realize it until it was happening to me, and I healed through volunteering. And so the reason I'm saying this is I want you to know that having dreams, plural with an S, is actually important. It doesn't have to be just one dream, because one dream can lead you to the next path and to another. And even though today I'll be talking about our nonprofit organization, I happen to step into nonprofit and, of course, hopefully still use what I do in media to do what we do. But it doesn't have to be nonprofit. The important part is using what you love, whether it's art, communication, science, innovation, technology, whether it's speaking. I am really known for speaking a lot, speaking fast, and loving to talk. And some way, somehow, I'm hoping that's also coming in handy today with the messages that we try to share. So whatever it is that you love, there is a purpose for that. And not just that, whatever it is that touches you so deeply. When you're on social media, when you're watching a movie, when you're watching anything, or even listening to music, if something pinches your heart a little, or it makes you feel uncomfortable, makes you feel like, this hurts me, to me, I feel like that is a sign that maybe this is something you are directly connecting to with your heart. Because success in business or in making a difference comes from the heart most of all. But of course, using the talents and skills that you guys have. And so today, I hope that this discussion on circular economy and the work that we do in this nonprofit will hopefully inspire you, motivate you, maybe open your eyes to come to ideas and pathways forward that you know you can uniquely contribute to. So I'm the founder of CORA. Even when I say that today, I still am so humbled to be saying that. And throughout this journey of just 7 years, I'm also so grateful to the United Nations Environment Program for being assigned as a Goodwill Ambassador. And so this is something that I am truly grateful for, and that I hope carries our mission forward, not just in the Philippines, but across the Asia-Pacific region and across the world. CORA is a nonprofit organization, but believe it or not, we were just friends and family that wanted to start doing this once a month. We were basically like, okay, we do this, when it's birthdays, holidays, special occasions, but isn't there something we can do on a consistent basis that isn't just on a special occasion, and really make it a part of our life, our obligation and responsibility to continue giving back to our community, to people on the planet. And that is how CORA became a nonprofit. And one word that I'd like to share with you guys today is intersectionality, or intersectional. Can you guys say that with me? Intersectional.
Intersectional.
Who here is familiar with the term intersectional? Of course, Michael is. Wonderful, thank you. It's actually a word that I just learned across this journey, and it's pretty crazy how I was so shocked by all the things I did not know. And once again, you guys are very lucky because you're learning way more and realizing way more things than I ever did at your age. I learned all these things in my 30s once again. And so to me, it's never too late, but definitely never too early to begin your change-making journey. So intersectionality is basically the concept of people and the planet being as one. When we talk about climate change, it seems like it's about the climate, it's the environment, temperatures rising, but it's not just about that. Intersectionality really emphasizes the fact that everything that happens to the environment, to the planet, directly impacts human lives and results in social injustices. The Philippines is a huge example. We're actually known as the most vulnerable country in the world to climate change. You guys are familiar with Typhoon Haiyan or Yolanda? Hands in the air, yes. So I was shocked that it is actually the strongest storm ever recorded to make landfall in the world, ever in history. And that happened in the Philippines, resulting in the loss of thousands of lives. And this is just continuing to happen more and more and more, not just here, across the Asia-Pacific region, across the world. And we see this on social media, on the news, because it's not just environmental organizations talking about this now, it's everybody. And so once again, we remember that the actions we take are not just simply because we wanted to pick up a piece of trash on the ground and put it in the bin. It's so much more than that, and really looking at how lives, loved ones, livelihoods, and homes are lost to these issues. Some of our key achievements throughout the years, and this all happened because of the power of volunteers. We started as a nonprofit with no full staff. It was literally friends, family, incredible volunteers like Miss M over here, who have dedicated their time and their lives to sharing their skills. A lot of people work for companies really successful in what they do, business owners and students even, leading our missions. So it's very inspiring and motivating to have such a full, inclusive, and diverse team. And when we look at the SDGs, all right, I'm gonna go back really quickly. Who knows the global goals here? Wow, I love it. His hand went straight up. Are you passionate about the SDGs? Is it something that you like? You see it on the walls all the time. Honestly, so this is something that actually helped bring me on my journey today. So when we started CORA in the nonprofit, we were doing simple feeding programs to rescue food from companies that couldn't sell them anymore. And when I saw this campaign online, and of course to those of you with a future in advertising, communications, media, journalism, broadcasting, art, digital art, technology, this is a huge impact on the world because all of this, I was initially captured by the colors, the design, the branding. But then of course I realized, wow, we have all these 17 issues here. First of all, I wanted to memorize every single one of them. And then of course we really wanted to tailor our programs to this because governments across the world, policies, companies, brands, the private and the public sector, schools, the academe, are using this as a blueprint and as a pathway forward for all of us. So looking at how the global movements are moving is really crucial so that we can all come together in solutions and our ideas and innovations. Now, really quickly, I wish I was gonna sing for you guys today, but really quickly I wanna share with you how I memorized the 17 SDGs. So I never thought that I would ever rap, and I ended up making like this poem, this rap, to try to memorize it on my own, privately, in secret, just so I could passionately remember all 17. And today, I just want to go through it with you guys. And maybe somehow, if you're trying to memorize all 17, to those of you passionate about the SDGs, well, this is my take on it and how incredible they are. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Eradicate poverty across the world. Zero hunger for every boy and girl. Good health, well-being, coast to coast. Quality education we need the most. Gender equality for all to see. Clean water, sanitation, clean energy. Decent work, economic growth. Industry, infrastructure, innovation. Reduced inequalities for every nation. Sustainable cities and communities. Responsible production and consumption, please. Climate action, that's the plan. Protect life below water and life on land. Peace, justice, strong institutions. Partners for the goal are the solution. Spread the good word across the land. Tell the whole world about the plan. Get ready, 2030, that's the year. Human beings won't live in fear. Calling on earthlings everywhere. It's time to take action if you care. Hand in hand, together we can. 17 goals, one master plan. Oh my God. Thank you. I hope somehow you guys make it over to globalgoals.org and find which one of these colors and boxes you will feel extremely passionate about and continue forward. All right. Today we're going to talk about what we are going to be doing during Make a Difference Week, and not just that, actually there's going to be some pre-activities for that as well. So looking forward to that, looking forward to having you guys join us right here in Manila Bay. Shockingly, people don't realize this is right near all the hotels right along Manila Bay. It's actually a protected area. It is what's called a Ramsar site because of the rich biodiversity. So there are a number of migratory birds that frequent this area. They basically travel what is called the East Asian Australasian Flyway. So that is basically an aerial pathway for these migratory birds from China to Siberia to Australia and beyond. And the Philippines is one of their major stops. It's actually migration season, I believe. And this is a wonderful place to go for bird watching. And sadly, there are a lot of critically endangered species, including, of course, the Philippine duck. So when you go here, if you guys join us, you're going to be seeing these different species there. At the same time, there are mangroves, a bamboo forest, and so much more. But sadly, we've been cleaning this area since 2017, and it's like a colorful carpet of trash. And as a nonprofit, our hope, our goal is to support what the heroes that are here every day are already doing. They're called the Bakawan Warriors. Bakawan is mangrove in Filipino. And they're there every single day, protecting this area, cleaning, maintaining the island, and yet it keeps coming back. Does anybody have an idea why it keeps coming back? I will tell you why. Honestly, pollution is an issue that can be solved through coastal cleanups. Do you guys agree? Yeah. Yes. But it needs to be done because of how much it is harming biodiversity, human health, and of course our ecosystems. And so today I'd like to talk a little bit more about plastics and the circular economy, but before that, here's a glimpse of what we do at CORA and our specific mission right now for clean cities, blue ocean, through the support of the United States Agency for International Development, or USAID.
Anything is possible. From our humanitarian missions to our programs to help protect the environment, sustainability has always been at the forefront of all that we do, and our volunteers have been at the heart of every positive impact. Selfless heroes serving as frontliners, especially during these most challenging times.
Thank you.
From our humble beginnings with friends and family members, our missions have brought us to where we are today, working with local communities, schools and the youth, the Philippine government, and various private sector brands in order to create a better world for people and the planet. CORA's mission to beat plastic pollution has brought together thousands of volunteers year after year to help clean our Philippine coastlines and seas, inspiring many others with a powerful force of unity and collective action, particularly our work at the Las Piñas Critical Habitat and Ecotourism Area, or El Pipichea.
We want to thank all the volunteers for taking the time, the effort, for waking up so early. Picking up the trash means so much.
While cleaning our coasts do not provide a realistic solution to the plastic pollution crisis, it must be done. And while the urgent need exists to recover the plastics littering our environment, concrete solutions require systemic change, business unusual, and of course, action from all of us. With the invaluable support of USAID, the leadership of the Parañaque City government, along with private sector partners and local citizens, CORA is on a mission to help create sustainable cities that work together towards circular communities. Because waste truly isn't waste until we waste it. The mission? To divert waste from landfills by empowering women champions working in waste management at the Parañaque City Materials Recovery Facility, as we work together to guide local citizens on the most effective ways to reduce their carbon footprint while transforming unsustainable lifestyles. All this as we turn waste into products of worth through the power of community segregation, composting, and recycling. With simple yet powerful actions, together we can strengthen waste management systems even in the most populated and progressive cities of the Philippines and neighboring nations, leading us all into a healthy, inclusive, and sustainable future with
And once again, this is through the support of a grant program. And these are just some of the partnerships we've been able to launch throughout the years. The Clean Seas Pilipinas initiative, right here, of course, as part of the global campaign, and we launched this with UNEP. We also launched the National Geographic Planet or Plastic campaign here in the Philippines, and once again, this Clean Cities Blue Ocean. Now, let's get to talking about one of the activities that we've got lined up for you guys. Today we won't be doing the full orientation, but just so you can get an idea of what's going to be happening, it's actually truly exciting. This is the first of its kind. So this is one of the newest partnerships we have launched through the support of the government of Korea and nonprofit organizations from Korea. And it's called My Ocean Mission, because if you take a look at that logo up there, ocean with an S, is Our Sea of East Asia Network. And this is actually an initiative that is doing what is called a pilot cleanup once a month. So it is not just a cleanup initiative, it is a data collection, citizen science activity. So everybody that's going to be participating, you are officially going to be considered a citizen scientist. You're going to learn basic principles in collecting data, most especially when it comes to marine debris and ocean pollution. This is going to be in Manila Bay, and this is not just a sample activity. The information that you will be collecting, those that will be participating, is actually going to be used by scientists, by government agencies, and by businesses to create better policies, to gather more knowledge so that better innovations can be brought forward for product development and, of course, for the solutions that we need to create a better world. So here is just an image of what you will be doing. This actually starts with a wonderful program. It's a fun activity that we do together to warm up, and of course it's a briefing activity where we'll be sharing with you the different methods of how this is done. We will also have the actual data collection, and after that, the weighing of what we collect. Now, for those of you that might be interested in some of these basic principles and might not be able to make it, I want you guys to know that we have a special way of doing it that you will learn as you go there. We don't just collect everything from the ground. Because if we're going to collect the data, the only thing we'll be able to get after that is the weight. Because everything is all mixed up. So there's sachets, plastic bags, boxes, foam, bags, underwear, clothing, toys, everything from lollipop sticks to lighters. And so we actually already ask every single volunteer to start choosing what item they are willing to pick up, because there's just so much of it. And that way, once you are done, when you get to the weighing station, you literally say, here is my sack of plastic bottles. It is weighed, we gather the data, it is of course marked as plastic bottles, and that is already used for future scientific research. So that's just an example, but beyond that, there is so much more you are going to learn about this. This one is actually more intricate. There are going to be grids, teams set up, so it's going to be an exciting activity for all of you guys. This is just an example of how this is done, and this was all taught to us by our partners from Korea, our Sea of East Asia Network. So these are called rapid assessments. So rapid assessments are a simple activity of using one quick, I'm so sorry, Michael, one quick visual assessment of when you're looking at something to see if you can actually make an accurate assessment. Because in scientific research, it would be impossible to count every single piece in a grid. And so rapid assessments allow us to do that with just a quick visual analysis, but of course this is also taught to us. There's a method to it. All right, here's another video of what we do. We also use, once again, social media. We always say limit social media use for mental health, limit social media use for many reasons, but at CORA, it has changed the game for what we do, using social media for a purpose to spread knowledge and hopefully get people interested in volunteering and joining us. So here are some of the things that we post to help share what we do. So every month we have a full report of what we collect, the different pieces we collect, the most interesting finds, and of course we also have features of our citizen scientists from different universities, colleges, and schools.
Hey there, Planeteers! It's
Manila Bay for CORA's My Ocean Mission. We are here with Planeteers, volunteers, youth leaders, and of course, our citizen scientists. And we are here not just to collect marine debris, but to do data collection and scientific research together with our ocean heroes and partners from South Korea, our Sea of East Asia Network Ocean, COEM, COICA, and Eco Waste Coalition. We hope that you can join our ocean mission by visiting www.wearecora.org/ocean, OSEAN. Together, let's learn more about marine debris, scientific research, and of course, the power we all have to make a difference.
There you go, Make a Difference Week coming very, very soon. And of course, we hope that you can join us for this wonderful mission and more. This is just the beginning. Really looking forward to doing that with you guys. Now, I'm going to try to get through these topics as quick as I can because I know I'm running out of time. Today, we're going to talk about plastics and the circular economy. Can you guys say circular economy with me? 1, 2, 3.
Circular economy.
One more time. Circular economy. 1, 2, 3.
Circular economy.
Who here is familiar with the circular economy? I love it. They're pointing at each other. That's okay. That's a good thing. I'm actually so motivated by having this conversation with you guys because if you already knew these things, there's no reason for me to share it with you today. And actually, once again, these are things I just learned in the past decade that fascinate me. Actually, Raf is a circular economy expert. He's actually one of the pioneers in the Philippines that I've also learned so much from when it comes to this incredible topic. So you guys are very lucky to be so close to someone that I consider one of my heroes as well. All right, plastics and the circular economy. First, let's talk about plastics really quickly. Why is plastic being villainized now and called bad? Of course, it has a lot of valuable uses, especially in the medical industry. But plastic is becoming an issue because it lasts forever. It lasts forever, literally forever. It never disappears, and even if you think we're not seeing it, it just breaks apart into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces, microscopic sizes, called microplastics. And here's the craziest part. If you look at this fact right here on the bottom, 50% of all plastics produced are called single use. Single use, of course, means we use it one time. That's it, and we throw it away. And there are so many high-quality, beautiful packaging that we literally use once. We open up the product, and then we throw it away. And guess what? I never knew that plastic lasted forever. I was super shocked. Because as human beings, we all want to do what's right. We all want to do what's best for humanity, for each other, for the planet, whether people know it or not. But if we don't know these things, how can we be part of the solution? And all my life, I was using single-use plastics, not knowing this fact. Because it was something that was being sold, given, presented to us in all forms, from social media to the malls, to the shopping centers, to the supermarkets. And so, how can we not think that it was okay? And so I was shocked to find out about that fact. Not just, of course, all these other numbers that you see here, but once again, that it lasts forever. It turns into microplastics. These are some of the images that captured the world when plastics were first discussed. How they impact biodiversity and wildlife. Painful images, videos that we've seen on social media. One of these is actually from a bird, from an uninhabited island, that if you will be able to see this closely, you will actually see that there are full pieces of items, including a lighter. And this is what happens to seabirds when they visit Manila Bay or areas that are polluted. Because they can't tell what's plastic, what's food. They just pick up whatever's on the ground, whether it's floating on the water, on the sand, and once it's in there, it's in there. And they die either of starvation, toxicity, or damage to their internal organs. Moving forward, the negative impacts of plastic pollution go beyond the environment. Loss of biodiversity, pollution in the ocean, pollution on land, threats to the economy, tourism, fisheries, agriculture. Every vacation destination now has pollution. Am I right? Do you guys see plastic everywhere you go? Yes, no?
Yes.
It's really sad. Actually, that's how I started. I had a plastic bag with me. I was in Boracay and I was like, you know what? Let me start picking up some of this. And that was the beginning of my journey. I was actually still using plastic and picking it up, not realizing we could do so much more. And looking once again at human health. Here's a scary thing. When this began, first scientific research showed that plastics already been found inside fish, seafood, different kinds of things we eat, from vegetables to the soil, to all kinds of water. Bottled water, tap water, every kind of water you can think of, there are microplastics. The air we are breathing, and even human blood. That research came out, I think, last year or this year. And so scientists are only beginning to learn the impacts of what this is doing to our bodies. Not to mention the toxic fumes when it's inhaled, when it's burned, and so much more. Hunger and food waste is something I want to talk about really quickly. Because when we talk about emissions, plastic is actually the 5th largest greenhouse gas emitter in the world if it were a country. But food waste, it would be the 3rd. There's actually more food waste. So when people say, oh my God, let's finish the food on our plate, it's true. Because not only are people going hungry, we are also harming the planet with methane emissions, which is way, way, way worse than carbon dioxide. And when we go back to looking at this is a painful fact that I learned that actually accelerated us forward in trying to recover products that were not expired but could not be sold, and we could give them out to communities. I was shocked that billions of tons, 1/3 of all food produced each year is thrown away. 1/3, we throw it away. From the farms because they're shaped weird, unique, and so much more, to supermarkets, to our kitchens, to our dining tables. But crazy enough, oh my gosh, just 1/4 of all that 1/3 that we throw away is already enough to end world hunger. I was like, what? We keep talking about world hunger like there's not enough for everybody, but there is. It's just going to waste, turning into carbon emissions and harming us all even more. And so these are facts that shocked me, that I learned just this decade, that have driven us forward to what we do today. And another important fact, so we talk about a renewable future, not just a net zero future, but a renewable future. And plastic is made of fossil fuels. All plastics, especially single-use plastics. So sad to say, if we are against fossil fuels and we believe that fossil fuels have to go, it is directly connected to plastic use. So another reason to really look at the future of the things that we purchase, and that also potentially we'll be inventing, we'll be selling, and of course, we'll be spreading across the world. Now let's take it to the Philippines really quickly. So when we talk about plastic pollution here, or in many places that can tend to be polluted, there's a tendency for us to point fingers at each other, and most especially blaming us, the people, each other, saying this is our fault, why are we littering? But when we look at these staggering numbers, it's really scary to think that each day in the Philippines, 163 million sachets are used and thrown away. 163 million sachet pieces every single day. A scary thought, along with all these other numbers. And how can we blame people when, of course, number one, we all live in a specific budgets, and not just that, we simply can only purchase what is being sold to us in stores, in supermarkets, everywhere around us. And that is why beyond policy by governments, we look at companies and brands to lead us forward, to innovate, to veer away from single use, and to really look at a reusable future, and of course, a future that is more sustainable and circular. So this is a study by World Bank. Apparently in the Philippines, every year, $890 million is lost and thrown away when plastics are not recovered and recycled and just end up in the environment or the ocean. And so a circular economy is that special topic that we say is quite simple in concept, but in reality, it's not being done enough, even though it's possible, and even if it actually goes all the way back to indigenous knowledge. So can you guys go through each one with me really quickly? So the first one, design out waste and pollution. Can you read that real quick? The next one. The next one. All right, so it basically just means circular economy begins with design, not at recycling, not at throwing it away, not at recovery, and of course making sure, oh my gosh, I keep dropping, I'm so sorry, making sure that, thank you very much, that it doesn't end up in the environment, it doesn't get thrown away, and it doesn't get sent to landfills. And of course the final one, making sure that the processes we use to actually recycle and do circular economy innovations do not harm the environment. Now, Really quickly, this is what the concept of a circular economy really is compared to two other structures that I would like to explain to you guys just really quickly. This is what we have today. Can you read what's at the top? Linear? Thank you very much. Linear economy. That is potentially what we're doing now. We take resources, we make products, we use them, and then we throw them away. They become waste. We also say that a circular economy is not just about recycling. Recycling is a part of the circular economy, but is not the full extent of it. It's actually one of the last steps. So recycling is we take, we make something, we use it, we recycle it, but then not everything can be recycled over and over. And for example, t-shirts and clothing that are made of plastic bottles, where we recycle the plastic bottles into a shirt, but that shirt cannot be recycled anymore. That's it. So at the end of the day, it still ends up, so there's more thought that has to go into it. And so what is essentially a circular economy? It goes beyond just recycling. We make something, we use it, but before we even consider recycling it, we remanufacture, we harvest the parts, we refurbish, we repair, and number one, we reuse something over and over and over until it still has use, especially for things that last forever. They can be handed down from generation to generation. And in essence, that is what a circular economy is. I'm not going to take you through this anymore, but it is just a further explanation. If anybody wants to take a snapshot, of course you can. But once again, it starts with design, and recycling comes last. The circular economy contributes to reducing plastic pollution in the environment and contributes to fighting climate change and greenhouse gas emissions. And I want to repeat this once again. So when we say it begins with refusing, did I lose the cover? I think I did. When we say it begins with refusing, it means, what do? We say, no to single-use plastics because we want to make sure that anything that cannot be recycled or reused, why are we even going to use it in the first place and be one of those people that actually adds to the pollution on the planet? Do you guys use your own reusable tumblers? Who here? Oh, I see a tumbler right there. We've got an Earth hero, this lovely lady. If you want to put your tumbler up in the air real quick. Thank you. So just to let you know, when you use your own reusable tumbler, shockingly, you can count it based on how many times you refill it in a day. Let's say you refill it with water 3 times a day. You single-handedly, as one person, are preventing at least 1,000 plastic bottles from being thrown away and entering the environment. And that's one small change. One small change to bringing your reusable tumbler every day, and that is the impact you are making each year. So can you imagine how it goes beyond that? So reusing, refusing, and of course repairing. Repair shops used to be so famous when I was younger. Now they're so hard to find. Usually they'll say, just buy a new one. And imagine you just got a phone, you broke the charger, and you're like, what? How can there not be a way to repair this? There has to be a way. And so these are the things we look towards and how companies are actually changing what they do across the world. Recycling comes last in the spectrum. And here's an example of a video that tells you more about how global treaties work with the United Nations, with governments, and of course, with businesses across the world, and people like you and me.
Since 2018, more than 500 organizations have united behind a common vision for a circular economy for plastics.
This has created the possibility of systemic change and has catalyzed 10 billion of investment into new packaging solutions to date. It has also created unprecedented transparency, with business signatories representing 20% of the packaging market reporting annually on 2025 targets to tackle plastic pollution.
The latest report shows that significant strides have been made in certain areas. For example, the share of recycled content has doubled in the last 3 years, equivalent to 1 million tons of carbon emission savings. However, collectively, progress has been patchy. The target of 100% reusable, recyclable, or compostable plastic packaging will almost certainly be missed by most organizations. Also, over half of business signatories have cut their use of virgin plastic since 2018, but overall, use among the group increased back to 2018 levels.
The prospect of not meeting all 2025 targets reinforces the urgency for businesses to accelerate action, particularly around reuse, flexible packaging, and decoupling business growth from packaging use. Governments, too, need to take immediate action and develop a legally binding instrument on plastic pollution. We need common, urgent action to amplify current efforts and level the playing field globally. The global commitment will continue to engage with signatories to drive progress, provide unprecedented transparency, and inform legislation. Read the 2022 progress report to find out more.
So once again, just another example of how the circular economy is embedded into everything we do. I'm wearing circular economy products on me today. You'll be surprised to know that these earrings, people always think they're seashells. It's actually made of paper waste. So it's from a brand called Florea Fashion by an amazing Filipina named Katrina Delantar, who is doing incredible work in fashion. So it's actually virtually indestructible. So it's a new innovative material, once again, made of paper waste, but they also use it for interior design, for structures, for walls, and so much more. And interestingly enough, these are actually bracelets from Lake Cebu, from an indigenous community, the Tiboli tribe. And they actually make these from upcycled brass. So whenever you take like a trip there, people buy a lot of souvenirs, you'll see a lot of these brass products. I thought they were just straight up brass products. What they do is they take broken brass items, belt buckles and so much more, melt them down and turn them into these souvenirs. So circular economy is everywhere around us if we choose to see it and if we choose to be a part of it. The Clean Cities Blue Ocean program is something that we hope that you guys will get to know more during MAD Week, of course, Make a Difference Week here at British School Manila. I'm not going to go through these items as intricately anymore, but this is a program that is running right now because beyond coastal cleanups, what will help us solve plastic pollution is going straight to the source. So first of all, making sure that we don't use it, but when we get to the end of using it, and it actually cannot be used anymore, and it's going to go in the bin or to the landfill, we want to make sure we are able to take it, recycle it, so that it ends up in the right place. And so the Eco Center was established through the Clean Cities Blue Ocean program, and this actually provides incentives. So if you come along there, I'm sure you guys might have seen these recycling centers, maybe online, on social media, maybe even in person, where you can go there, bring your recyclables, and then they give you something in return. So in the US, I used to do that when I was living there. I really segregated my recyclables, and of course, it was a great way to make a little extra cash, you know, to get some ice cream or something. And of course, when we talk about the Eco Center, this is something that was primarily made for people, to make sure that everybody out there has access to be able to bring their recyclables, clean, dry, and segregated. Can you guys say that with me really quickly? Clean, dry, and segregated. This is because when recyclables are contaminated or dirty or soiled, they cannot be recycled. And it is not humanly possible to separate all of them. So they need to be specially segregated so that they don't ruin recycling systems, innovations, and technology. So it's very, very important. And even with all of our trash right now, there is no way a few waste management champions can separate all of that. And so in countries where it has been very successful with circular economy and recycling, it's always because people do it at home, at work, at their schools, and really do it at the source. So we take our clean, dry, and segregated recyclables, we bring them to the Eco Center, and of course you can exchange it for points. These points, you can keep them or you can redeem them for rice, vegetables, any other circular economy items, or even e-cash right there and then. So this is something we hope will really help empower more communities through the power of recycling. There's a registration and drop-off point where we weigh everything. Of course, data is collected. We exchange goods. People of all ages are welcome. This lady went home with 2,000 pesos from bringing aluminum. Aluminum is one of the highest value recyclable items, and what's amazing about it is what's called infinitely recyclable. It can literally be recycled over and over and over and over and over again. So if you are going to be using items that have to be single use, items like glass and aluminum are not harmful to the environment, and They're infinitely recyclable. Can you say that with me?
Infinitely recyclable.
Thank you. And of course, we also offer livelihood products from the community and more. Here's a quick glimpse of what the Eco Center is all about on our launch day, so you can see how everything went down.
San Isidro Eco Center is the first holistic community recycling center, not just in the Philippines, but of course in the world. And the goal is to begin here and to be able to inspire others.
Welcome to Eco Center.
Reduce, recycle, and improve local solid waste management systems to build circular economies. And the realization is, if you put a value to the material, people will not throw it away. Hindi natin mapipigilan kung ano pong meron dyan sa mundo. Pero ang tao po ay magagawa para sa ating mundo o kalikasan.
Very humble lang po yung green na makatulong, na magsama-sama tayo sa pag-segregate, sa pag-collecta ng mga recyclables natin, sa paggawa ng mga simpleng paraan kung paano lahat tayo makatulong kahit paano. Kasi lahat naman tayo, meron talaga tayong kakayahan na makagawa ng solusyon.
This is just proof of what we can do if we do things together. And we are looking forward for the success of not only this program but more programs to come. And we are hoping that this is just a start.
So this is the first Barangay San Isidro Eco Center, and this is not meant to just be one place. This is what's called a pilot project. So we put it in one place to make sure that it's tested, it's running well, and from there we replicate. We make sure that every community in the Philippines begins to have recycling and circular economy centers just like this one. And hopefully we'll be empowering more people across the country. These are just some items that we accept right now, and you might be wondering, what do we do with it? Of course, we make sure that it goes to the proper endpoints. First, junk shops. Recycling and circular economy is all around us through these junk shops. So we make sure we work with a local junk shop, so we're empowering them right where we are. We also make sure that we give items to livelihood programs. For example, these are used flour sacks from bakeries that go to livelihood programs run by women, turn into other products that have even been collaborated by the Body Shop. And these are incredible innovations, high quality items made of single-use plastics, one of the only innovations in the Philippines that does this, to turn it into school chairs and other high quality products, and so much more. So these are just some examples of course, how circular economy is being done by CORA, but there's so many more organizations, groups, institutions here in the Philippines, across the Asia-Pacific region and across the world that are doing things like this, even bigger, better, more incredible, and in our own humble way. We hope that you can join us as we move forward, not just with the Eco Center, but to help beat plastic pollution, to help beat waste pollution across the world, empower more women. I will not be playing this video today, and I hope that we can share that with you another time, and you'll be meeting our women champions very, very soon, for those of you that are going to have the chance to visit the Eco Center to join the coastal cleanup. And so today, before I leave, I'd like to leave you with three words that have always stuck with me since the beginning of this journey. And first is, can you read the first word? Love. Oh my gosh, easier said than done. But love would literally fix every problem in the world, every single issue. the simple act of love and kindness to all creation, the people around us, to all life around us, to everything around us. Easier said than done, but remembering, everything can be done with the power of love, as cheesy as that sounds. I hope you guys realize that in the most amazing way in your incredible life journey ahead. And of course, courage. Oh my gosh, courage. I was also afraid to start speaking about many things. The beginning of my mental health journey. Also speaking about issues that people might, get offended or might be sensitive about. And so we try to be as kind and as polite as we are in sharing the knowledge that we share. But it's important to have the courage to be able to not just speak about the things that are important and that we care about, but to actually do something about it. And I know you guys have courage in here. Everybody, let's say courage together. 1, 2, 3. Courage. All right. And the last word, here we go. Can you read that for me? Purpose. Oh my gosh. The eternal question of what is my purpose? Why am I here? We all ask that. We all wonder that. And one simple thing reminded me how unique we all are. How unique you all are. All right, everybody, can you put your index fingers up in the air for me, please? All right, I'm actually only doing this, so hopefully you'll remember this moment. You can put your index fingers down. Now, you are the only one in this world with that fingerprint. Imagine that. That's a fact that we already know. I'm just reminding you. So imagine it, just at the tips of your fingers. You are so incredibly unique. No one is like you. You are the only one in the world that has that unique design. And not just that, everything else. Not even identical twins are completely identical. Can you imagine what else is inside of you? Unique, special, that unique fingerprint that you will be leaving on the world that no one else can. And that is your reminder that you are created unique, special, and with a purpose. Nowadays, it's hard to remember that because it's difficult to not put yourself in a box. The box that social media dictates, the media, the world, pop culture. But I hope that you guys remember that nothing is by chance. Everything is meant to be. You have the power to make a difference and be change makers of the future, and you already are. So remember that. Remember your power in building a better world. And we really look forward to having you all join us in our activities at CORA, and of course, to beat waste pollution together. Thank you guys so much for your time and for listening.
A massive thank you to Antoinette Taus for that incredibly informative speech. And I hope that you kind of grasp that, yes, we hear a lot about despair and things on our planet right now. And we worry a lot about the planet's future. But there's hope out there, right? And there are some incredible people doing some incredible things. And you guys have great influence and great power, both now and particularly as you get older into the future, right? You really are change makers. And what we are hoping to do and establish through the work that we do with CORA and other organisations is to get you going out there as ambassadors for the things that you care about and you are passionate about. So Year 10, we look forward to taking you down to Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park at the end of November. Year 11, we're going down there right at the end of term on the final Thursday. And you're going to be able to go out there and make a difference. And then Year 10, any of you got really excited and engaged in the work of CORA, we're going to be working very closely with them in MAD Week on our Las Piñas Parañaque Wetlands Park experience, visiting the Eco Centre and making sure we do more work and build it beyond that. So once more, we have a massive round of applause. It's 2:28, so I will slowly dismiss you back to your classrooms and let your tutors do that, and you get your bags and go home. Thank you.
Still filming. Haruki!
Oh, that was wild. Oh wait! No, just. You know, telling. What did you say?
Oh, they're still recording.
Ew! Now you just cursed their video. You know, telling.